day, grand afternoon, and bright blessings to all of my pedal patrons. I hope you guys have had a wonderful beginning into this month of February 20 and 25. The first being on Saturday. Yesterday, Sunday's energy was the 2-2 portal, opening up this opportunity for expansion for all of us to grab the extra information that we need directly from our spirit teams. Today is the 3rd, but it makes it a 5 universal numerological energy value, which is all about changes. And I'm not usually guided to pull any type of card, but this is the card that pulled up today, and it is change. It has everything to do with letting go of your expectations for other people and the way that you personally think that you're going to control them, or what that looks like at minimum in your thought process, and focus that energy internally on yourself. So today is about radically accepting change for your highest and best good, for you, nobody else. Start with you. Now, if it turns into doing something for someone else in one way, shape, fashion, form, or another later down the line, that's one thing. But today it's about what are you prepared to do to accept the different things that you need to be able to do today. So I thought that was quite fitting. Thank you, Spirit, for that. We have some exciting things that are taking place. Obviously, like I said, that portal taking place yesterday. We're in the throes of the energy today. There's only 4 main transits. We'll talk about them. I'll bring up the chart here in just a second. We'll run through all of the different zodiacs. But to be perfectly honest, all the shifting energy that I'm talking about today, this 5 energy, prepares us beautifully for the 6 energy tomorrow, when we have 2 major things that are going to be taking place. The first one everyone knows about, right, is the fact that we have Jupiter, which has been retrograde in Gemini, finally goes direct tomorrow, which means it starts to expand and it goes back to its happy-go-lucky, let's make everything happen, right? And the second thing is that Mama Venus moves out of Pisces, which is her exalted position, and into Aries tomorrow. So that will change the dynamic when it comes to some relationships. But we're going to talk about the fact that the moon today, which technically is in Aries, is a little bit void, which means more of the power is going to show up when the moon shifts into Taurus a little bit later on today. The moon is exalted in Taurus. So it sort of takes a back seat to sort of what Mama Venus and Taurus is doing today for grounding, stability, identifying things in physical, tangible, touchable things, and relationships. You'll see that the chart is going to show us that. So let me go ahead and bring that up, and then we'll talk about each of the different zodiacs for today, getting us prepared for tomorrow. All right. Moon in Aries is void. It doesn't have a lot of juice in its normal capacity. It's a day for all of us, regardless of your sign, to sort of slow down today and again take advantage of that 5 energy. That is one of the main transits. It is void. Now what happens is the moon is going to shift into its exalted position of Taurus a little later on this evening, where you will be able to pull out and maybe do some extra money magic today, tomorrow, for sure, to help expand what it is that you want to be able to expand with finances. Absolutely not a problem. We do have a square then that develops itself here within that Mars in Cancer, but again, it's not as powerful. That doesn't mean it doesn't have any energy. It's just not the main energy that takes place. I just wanted to make sure I pointed that out there with any void energy that takes place, okay? We also have this gorgeous trine, total harmony between what is going on with the Mercury energy with our Jupiter and Gemini. So Mercury babies include Gemini and Virgos, and of course, our energy of our Jupiter affects our Sagittarius and some Pisces. So those are the signs that are obviously getting some very glorious energy boost today, and it will also include the Aquarian folk that are out there as well. Today is a great day again to focus on what you need to be able to do and start to put yourself in a position of understanding what you want your future to look like. But you must be willing to agree that you got to make some shifts. Period. End of discussion. Tomorrow's 6 Universal Energy Day is going to give us that opportunity to see everything become a little bit more open. Finally, we can take a breath of fresh air. Now, Aries, slow down today. You're on the right path. You're doing all the right things. You're getting all the right information. When your ruler here, Mars, moves direct also later this month on around the 23rd, you will get your second wave of boost of energy, but you are going in the right direction, and you'll know exactly what it is that you are going to make some minor adjustments a little bit towards that 22nd, 23rd energy. Taurus, Okay, I told you guys last week that you could be feeling really off kilter. Well, today is one of the best days for you to get your clarity back. Mama Venus having this sextile, which are the purple lines here, not only with the Uranus energy in your sign, but also with this Pluto in Capricorn. What shock and awe or major changes have been taking place that just sort of threw you off into sort of comes back down in energy. The clarity that you can receive today, especially if you take time to meditate, is going to be absolutely fabulous. Okay. Now, the other thing that shows up for our Geminis is where you feel maybe that you have been maybe less stable. Pay attention to what it is that you might need to be able to do for yourself when it comes to that instability. Like minor tweaks and changes are probably all that's required. As long as you're being flexible, you're going to be in a good space and a good spot. My Cancerian friends, I told you last week to be mindful of the communication that you were sharing with other people so that you didn't get viewed as the negative a-hole. Well, today is going to be one of those days where you start to see why that is very important with that responsibility that comes in here with Papa Saturn in that trine. So it helps you to understand, ooh, it's a good thing that I didn't, or it's a good thing that I'm choosing to do what I felt and learned in that conversational pieces that dropped in your lap last week. Today is a good day to start making some adjustments with that. Now, if you happen to be a Leo, then the energy for Leos, especially when it comes to the stability of what's taking place in your home or even maybe your office space, is just where you feel a little bit more rooted, and wherever it is that you go, do more of that. It is opening itself up for you, and it looks like a really glorious day for you to take advantage of some tinier aspects of that. Scorpio. Last week, I told you guys that you needed to just sort of hang back and just also see what was going on. I did the same thing with Virgos as well. And Virgos, we want to talk to you about that, but sort of you guys are in the same conversation, just different sides of the coin. Virgos, you had to wait for all the other information to step forward so that you knew what it is that you needed to do without any challenge, right? Tapping into spirit, doing your meditation, watching, doing what you needed to do, being literally in your own hermit mode is giving you the information that you need to do in order to strike while the iron is hot. The requirement for change today may not revolve around specifically you. You maybe have to have a conversation with someone that's in your family. I'll just put it that way in order to make things be a little bit more level set. For my Libras, we need you to be okay with the change that has already started to surface or is going to continue to surface this week when it comes to something that you just know needs to go, whether it's relationship, whether it's something to do with a family member, whether it has something to do with what you know you need to do going forward. If you have a list of 10 things, whittle it down to 5 today, because something that you are ripping up as part of those other 5 was the right decision, and you're making the right decision. Okay. So that brings us back over into my Scorpionic energy, my Scorpio friends. Okay, we have Mars, which is your co-ruler, and we have Pluto, which is your co-ruler, talking to you about financial changes in your household. What it basically boils down to is you in your relationships, and what that revolves around as far as money and resources has to be one of the changes that you sit and have a conversation with. It's sort of like you were waiting to see who was going to do what and how things were going to shake out. Today is the day where you can start to make some of those conversational changes. If you happen to be a Sagittarius, a lot of that energy that's popping up for you guys today in Relationshipville also is the conversation of what you personally are gonna put forward. So putting your money where your mouth is, but being open to make some shifts. Tomorrow's the days it's gonna ask you, take this information that you figure out today and rock with it, okay? Now, my Capricornios, this energy here that we're seeing is going to tell me a couple different things. Number one, you have a potential to be receiving some information from someone else that could be very valuable to you, but in that energy of waiting for something to come in from somebody else, you are the critical member of this 5 universal energy today. What you are waiting for it to influence the next steps of your life. You have to be willing to divorce yourself, and I don't mean in marriage, I mean divorce yourself from, if I don't get this, then ... Don't do that to yourself. What can you do in the potential of it not showing up? That's sort of the easiest way for me to say it. My Aquarius friends that are out here, positive communication day for you, like I said earlier, especially if you're a business owner or you have side hustles or side projects. The way that you communicate that value for yourself and to your employees or to other people is absolutely something that you can consider expanding on and changing. And if you're a Pisces, slow down. Something new is showing up for you very, very shortly.